Alright, what I got in front of me is the Thrunite TN4A HI, which has the latest XPL high emitter. And it makes up to 1,050 well-focused lumens, giving it a 457 meters of throw out of this little tiny light. And it runs on 4 AA batteries, which, as you know, are very easy to find and plentiful. Very well built light, just like the other Thrunites that I have, and I have quite a few of them. Really like this little light. And it does come with some accessories. This one here has a very well made holster that is quite usable, and a typical lanyard spare switch cap. Well, that's a weird one. Wonder why you got a spare switch cap when that's the switch. Must be on the inside of it, huh? And some O-rings. And Thrunite's typical warranty. And I can't stress enough just how well built this thing is. Just feels like a little solid chunk of metal. And as you're gonna see in my beam shots and that, you're gonna be impressed with the throw on this little light in the output. Like I said, it's rated at 1,050 lumens max due to the reflector design in that little XPL high emitter. This thing rockets out there, unreal. This has got enough pluses. This is going to be at the top of my light collection. I can already tell it. And what's good is the price on this damn thing is under 50 bucks, which would make it an excellent gift due to the fact anybody can go to the store and pick up 4AA batteries, and this thing would just be wicked for, well, shining long distance through big yards and stuff like that at animals or whatever you wanted, or as a defense weapon to blind somebody. It does have, I do believe, 5 modes, and you start off with it, if you were to press the switch and hold it, it'll go to what Thrunite calls Firefly. That is 0.2 lumens, and that will run for 80 days. On that mode. If you were to shut, which I'm going to do quick, all the lights off, other than my strip lights, that will run, like I said, for 80 days. And next up is low. Just hold the switch. You're looking at 14 lumens for 93 hours. I mean, that's a lot of light coming out of there for that amount of time. The next mode is medium at 120 lumens for 14 hours. It just unreal for 4AA batteries. Look at that nice focused beam. Then moving on up to high is 520 lumens for 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's wicked. And of course, if you double press quick to get the turbo, 1,050 lumens for 56 minutes on some 4AA batteries. So you're looking at a very well built light that's actually quite cheap for the amount of throw and build quality it has. And it runs on readily available AA batteries. Very good heat sink. Battery holders, rock solid, just like their bigger Thrunite flashlights. Beautiful smooth reflector, tempered glass lens. Telling you, pretty good Christmas gift for somebody that likes flashlights. They'd really like it. It does have the typical, when the batteries are fully charged, the blue. When it turns red, it means you need to replace them or recharge them. Another nice feature. Now what I want to do is get outside and we're going to do a Lux Meter test up against my Lux Meter and then compare this to a couple other flashlights. One being the Maglite ML300, which is a real nice light in itself, but if you look there, it's over 3 times taller and about the same width. And I'm going to throw in my Thrunite TN12. This is 2014 edition. I've had this light since it first come out. Pretty much my main light. And I'm going to throw in this Claris XT11S. This is a wicked light, but it's quite costly. Then, as you know, we call this the big brother, the Thrunite TN42. Might as well say it's the daddy to it. Just want to throw in 3 Thrunite lights that I do have and give you a good idea. So let's go ahead and get out there and do a Lux Meter test on it and calculate the throw and then start hooking up with some beam shots. All right, I'm up 4 meters away from my Lux Meter. And this is a beam shot to calculate the estimated throw. Here it is on turbo. Nice tight pattern there, as you see. Let's go see what it was. All right, I ended up with 3,350 lux, and we're going to divide that by 0.25, brightness of the moon, times 4 meters squared, 16, and then the square root. And it come up to 463 meters of throw, so pretty accurate. The thing punches out there. All right, I'm going to cycle through these lights that I'm going to test here up against it. And the first up is the Thrunite TN4A at a tree at 62 meters away. That's the TN4A, 62 meters. And there's the Clarus XT11S at 62 meters. And there's the Maglite ML300 at 62 meters. And here is the Thrunite TN4A HI, 62 meters. Like I said, look at that tight ass beam. 4 AA batteries. And now we'll move down to a tree at 94 meters away. Thrunite TN4A, Clarus XT11S, Maglite ML300, and the Thrunite TN4A, 94 meters. Now we're going to hit up 140 meters, that tree in the middle down there, Thrunite TN4A, Clarus XT11S, Maglite ML300, Thrunite TN4A, 140 meters. Now, back down in there is pushing 190, and that whole wood line up there on them pines is pushing over 140 on up to 190. And this thing hits it no problem. I'm going to move this thing over. We're going to hit these woods that are fairly close to well over 200 meters away. And as you can see there, how it lights it up, just beautiful. Now I'm going to just show you a comparison between that and an ML300. This is the TN4A, and that's the ML300. And there's the XT11S. Like I said, it's kind of one of my more favorite lights. But then you turn on the, get them side by side, XT11S and the Thrunite TN4A. Takes that thing out pretty easy. Look at that. But you take out its big brother or the daddy of it. There's the TN4A. There's the Thrunite TN42. But I'm telling you, I mean, this is a wicked light, that TN42. But look at that little rocket. Unreal. For 4 AA batteries. Under $50. Takes that tree well over 200 meters out. Lights that up pretty good. Way in the background there is over 400 meters. That green, I'll turn on the TN42. Them pines down there are over 400 meters out. And that little flashlight's hitting it. Can you believe that? It's wicked. Now we're going to take a walk down the road and do the typical shining. Just give you the beam shot of it. And now we'll do our typical comparison up against my car headlights. Right out there on the other side of the road's probably about 100 feet. And there's that little Thrunite on turbo. Pretty awesome. Give you a little bit of an idea. All right, that concludes the beam shots of this little beast. Very pocketable. This is becoming, I think this light's going to grow on me as one of my favorite lights. Just with the build quality, 4 AA batteries that you can pick up anywhere. The amount of throw this thing has for how small it is, I mean, it outdoes all but the best of them for throw. Under $50 for this light and all the features it has, it's hard to go wrong with this thing. It's just a well-built, highly functional flashlight that should last many, many years. Can't go wrong with it. Check out the link below if you haven't heard of Thrunite. Most of you should have already, but pretty awesome lights. Price-wise, you can't beat this thing. There you go, Thrunite TN4A HI.